All right. It should
This
be
meeting is
going
being
live.
live streamed.
Yay!
I got it.
Okay. Let's see if it's going to work. It says setting up your meeting for YouTube. So it might be actually recording this part.
Oh, I'll stop picking my nose. Meeting is being live streamed. Yay!
It is being live streamed, but it's live streamed as something totally different. So I've got to send everybody the new link. All right. Got it. It is being live streamed. Got it. I'm going to go and see what it looks like on my channel.
Oh.
I know we're live streamed. I'm saying hi. I don't know who is here
Oh,
yet.
I see it.
Do you see it? All
Yeah.
right.
Oh.
Got it. It is being live streamed.
All right.
Hey, there's the two of us. We're on here. I'm going to go ahead and share this link. And I'm going to start sharing it on my channels. And then when I do the upload, I'm just going to delete this part.
Okay.
Okay, you can do the same. How are you, Summer?
I'm doing well.
Let's see. Tell me if anybody jumps on.
6 people are watching.
Yeah, 6 people are watching.
Hi.
All right. If you guys have questions, I'm just sharing links. You can see, can you see the comments?
Yes, I can, but I'm now sharing the new link on my community post. Never mind.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Okay, we're having like, we tried to schedule it and this is still all new to me doing through the Zoom. This is Summer, by the way.
Hi. How is everybody?
And they can write good in the comments. That would be awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna have this running in the background so I can see the live chat. Why can't, oh, there's the live chat. Okay, they're saying hello. Hey, it's safe to be here. Okay, I'm just gonna get started and hopefully people will, oh, I feel so bad that it's not showing up as, it says there's only 2 people now.
I've got 14.
You've got 14. Mine is slow. Okay. Oh, no, mine caught at 13.
There
Awesome.
we go.
Okay, so feel free to share the link since we're struggling with sharing the link. I tried so hard. I tried so hard to like do the pre-screen with the, it's coming, here's the link. I shared it to groups. I shared it to Facebook. I shared it to Instagram. And then it's like, oh, Zoom doesn't want to link up to that because the perimeter or something was wrong. I'm like, man. And so then I went and clicked some buttons and then it showed up as like a brand new one. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to go ahead and fix all the things, but we're here. So hopefully people see this as live. I do see 14. If you guys hit that like button, it's going to start pushing out to other viewers that are on here. Like I said, share. I'm going to go to, man, I wish I could multitask. Summer, why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
Oh,
really
okay.
quick.
I can do that.
Okay, awesome.
I am Summer Myers. I am a smaller YouTube channel.
You have 1,000. She's 1,000. She can be monetized. No, but that's awesome. That's like a milestone.
It is a milestone.
You
and
should have more. You'll get more.
No, well, I'm proud of the community that we have, and I'm really excited to work with Leilani because she's just fantastic, and I love chatting with her.
We're very similar.
Okay, so about me.
How many kids do you have? How old are they? How many kids do you have?
I have 6 children, and they range in ages 12 to baby, and we have been homeschooling for 5 years now and figuring it all out. And on my channel, we talk about homeschooling and how we do it at our house and like to share about that. We like to do the things. Leilani, I'm terrible at this. Why did you have me come on here?
Oh, I know, because I'm trying to fix, I shared to like several groups and now I'm just kind of going through them. Huh?
You're doing the things.
I'm doing the things. I'm sharing. I'm doing the things.
That's
I'm
right.
doing all the things, not all the things, not doing all the things.
No,
oh, we're going to talk about a lot of things. Let's talk about a lot of things. Did I scare the people off? Like, are they still here or what's the
No,
number?
I'm pretty sure they're here. And they're saying they hit the like button. So thank you very much. Yay. Listen to us just talking about whatever.
Summer's amazing.
Our mind.
We talk every day
We
on
do.
this lovely app called Marco Polo.
Because we can't, it's not enough to just watch ourselves editing videos. We have to watch ourselves again on Marco Polo.
I know. Well, no, it's funny because one thing that's really nice about Marco Polo is you can listen to it whenever you need, like whenever you can, when you have downtime. Like I like to listen to Marco Polo when I'm cooking or doing dishes, and then you can talk whenever you can.
I want to listen to Leilani. I like pulling her up whenever I can. So it's a lot of fun to Marco Polo.
On the toilet. No,
we don't do that.
Okay.
Get that bit out.
Later. Okay, so now we're chit-chatting. Let's see. Okay, wait, there's one more group that I shared it to. Oh, I did it. Okay, I did the things. I just didn't do Instagram things. I just did Facebook things. So I'll leave it at that and I'll fix Instagram later in the stories. I don't have any Instagram followers. You guys, if you don't follow us on Instagram, you should. Are you on Instagram?
I am, but I'm terrible at it.
I am too.
I just for help on Instagram. I'm like, what is a reel? That's how pathetic I am. Like this. I think I know how to do a story. I think I did it once and I had like a million people, like I like tagged a bunch of people who I don't normally talk to at all. And I'm like, here, I'm going to share this. And I had like a zillion people like say, thank you for sharing that. And I'm like, oh, did that just catch your attention? That was not what I wanted to do. I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's okay.
So if you do Instagram, you probably should follow Leilani. That's end game here.
I just mess around with Instagram. Like I don't do all the
You're good at it though.
No, I just play around. I just play around. Somebody, I'm sorry. I saw your husband's reflection in the mirror and I was like, okay, we're so distracted. So we got to get busy talking about the things that we have planned to talk because you had a nice little, okay.
I had
I love this. Okay, the comments are coming in. So life, Summer, you are doing great. Girl, still here. Yes. Here, life. Oh, this I can't read from like I have to do this now. I'm getting really old. Fitness life left a bunch of laughter faces, I think is what it, yes. Whenever I want a good laugh, I watch both of you back to school videos. Those were fun. And
those were fun.
Those were fun. And we're working on another collab. That one's gonna be, I'm scared to release that one because I feel like people might get offended, but maybe they won't.
Well, that's our end goal, honestly, is when we post to offend people. That's why we do this.
But okay, so we gotta talk about the brainwashing thing because girl chit chat can just be fun.
Take forever and nobody wants to hear us talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
They want to watch us talk about brainwashing. That's why.
That's what they, yeah, because we've obviously been brainwashed. So okay. So do you have, I don't want to leave the comments. If anybody, starting our new year tomorrow. So I made sure to catch this one. Oh, she's starting school tomorrow. Yay! Right after like the Labor Day weekend, and you can't start on Labor Day weekend because it's too short. So you have to wait the following week.
Right.
That's awesome. So, okay. So the first thing, because we sent each other, we've been talking about this for a while. And you said the first bullet point that you gave me was the fear of failing to educate our kids after we have rejected the public school system. You want to talk about that?
So should we unpack that a little bit?
Let's unpack it. Where's my, I wish I had sound effects. I don't have a box done.
You don't have like a bell or anything.
Oh, I was going to do the like the box opening.
Here we go. That's
what was my sound effect.
Mad money. Right. Yeah. And all this stuff going on. Yeah, no, I mean, so I think when you're a homeschooler, you tend to have, you're all excited, right? Of starting a new journey, a new year. And then, you know, after you've done the grind for a little bit longer, there's some, I think sometimes we feel a little insecure. We've got some fears that are wedged in there. And it's hard to, I believe that if you found the root of that, if you know where you feel that insecurity, then it's easy to just like dig it out and be like, I'm not doing this anymore, right? But if you don't really know where it's coming from, and I think that's probably why we're talking about it, right? Is to kind of open up that conversation so that homeschoolers don't feel that wedge of insecurity or guilt or fear, right?
Yeah, but where does insecurity come from?
Well, for me, I can only speak for myself, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I would not characterize myself as a super insecure person when it comes to homeschool, but I do relate to the idea of fear of failure, failing my kids from doing not educating them to the best of their potential, right? We all believe that our kids have this huge amount of potential to succeed. And if I don't do it right, then they're going to fail and it's going to be my fault. So there's that insecurity and that fear. And it also comes from a place of, I'm not doing what, the Joneses are doing next door. They're sending their kids to school. They're getting up super early. And I do not envy their lifestyle, but I do worry that they know something that I do not, that they know that their kids are going to succeed because they've sent them to the school, which is what everybody else does. And I'm not doing that. I'm doing something completely different and intentionally. And I feel strongly about it and I feel convicted about it. But there's always that kind of niggling feeling in the back of my mind that they might know something that I don't. Or, and this is a long game, right? It's a marathon, and you don't necessarily know what your choices are going to lead up to and for another several years, right? It's a long game. So you don't know if you've become successful until they're out of your house and hopefully out of your house and not living in your basement playing video games because,
That's like every mom's nightmare.
Right? You would think that as homeschoolers, we want our kids around forever, but
But no, the video game basement thing, that scares me. I'm like, no, you are not allowed to ever play video games, because that scares me. Like, what if I didn't prepare my child enough to enter into the workforce? Or what if I'm allowing them to become too lazy where they're stuck downstairs in the basement? I think that's also, I don't think any of us are going to be like that, to be honest, because that's what is it called when you're hindering them by,
sure.
What is it? I keep thinking, what is that word? When you, the only thing I could think of is like a person who's overweight that can't leave their bed. So the person watching them keeps giving them more and more food and they're hindering them. Enable, that's the word.
Okay. It's okay.
Like, you're enabling them when they're just sitting downstairs in the basement playing video games all day. Like that, right. Like, you're not pushing them, you're just giving them what they need instead of cutting off the cable. But I don't think, it's our biggest fear because it's, we don't want to be controlling, but anyway, that has nothing to do with public school.
No, I think it does. It's because it
okay.
does. And I think you make a valid point, because we don't want to enable, but frequently in homeschool, we're like, lead with your interests. What interests you? And if your kid says video games, you're like, okay, great. How can I teach ancient Egypt with Minecraft? You know what I mean? Like, there is that where you're like, am I actually enabling them to end up in the basement and play video games forever? Or am I actually setting them up to become lifelong learners where they're pursuing based on their interests, based on, what they are,
That's so good. I have to quote that. That's so good. What you just said.
What, you mean the stuttering?
No, when you were saying, are we enabling them or are we setting them up to be lifelong learners?
Right.
Because we don't think about that.
But that's, that's kind of our end goal, right? We're setting them up to, because we can't teach all the things. And that's another public school mindset where the teacher is set up, and I know you can speak about this, is set up as the person who knows everything. They went to school, they know everything. You need to
They
sit
got a college degree.
Yeah, you got to sit in a chair and be quiet and learn everything from this one person who knows everything. They're going to pass all that knowledge on to you. We know that's not the case. We know that they don't know everything, but they're set up in that way. And
as having authority.
As having authority. And that's necessary for containing a classroom of how many kids, right? But it misses the mark. It misses what you actually need, which is somebody who is capable of finding out and researching and diving deep into topics that interest them and being able to learn on their own. When you're in a classroom setting, you kind of have to stay in the school of fish. You have to stay together. You can't, divide off into everybody's interests, because that's just not productive. But as homeschoolers, we can really dive deep into those interests and help them find the things and the best way to understand it at their level that's personal. And a teacher in a lot of ways is handicapped because they can't. They've got too many interests that lead them everywhere. Even though I know, and that's another thing, we probably should add a disclaimer. This is not a venue for us to be bashing public school teachers or public schools. That's definitely not what I'm about. I know that's not what you're about.
I always say, there's always a place for it. There's always going to be that family in that situation that's going to need to send their kids to public school.
Right.
For whatever reason. I can't, we're not here to judge, but when the Lord calls you to homeschooling and you obey, there are certain things that you have to consider when you do it.
Yes.
So.
Right.
Oh, what did you say a little while ago that was so good? Now I forgot.
That's okay. Should we check the comments real fast? Because
yeah, that's a good idea, because I see them coming up. I should put my head above so you don't stare at my head. So I'm sorry. I'm wondering if ACE curriculum is good. When in Florida with evaluations, how do kids do with ACE? My son was evaluated in April for ACE after pulling him from public school. He's behind in reading. I don't know. Are you familiar with ACE?
Not personally. I've heard of it, but I wouldn't be able to say as far.
I'm not a fan. I'll just leave it at that, because it's very traditional. I'm not a fan. It's very traditional, and it's one of those things where you learn it and then spit it out and then you just forget about it. A lot of kids do that unless it's specifically your learning style. And then she says, my son does Coda Ninja that sets them up for computer science or software engineering, which I've heard about. I haven't done that one. We do Coda Kids. I thought that, but never put that into words. Okay, good. So we said something cool.
Oh, good. We did something.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for the fun chat. Question. In Florida, we are doing the Good and the Beautiful language arts. 13-year-old daughter can go from level 7 to high school levels. I guess we are doing the Good and the Beautiful language arts. 13-year-old daughter. Can I go from level 7? Yeah. If she tests, if she's at that level, do it.
Yeah.
There's no rules saying you can't do it.
High school, I think that's the thing with homeschool levels, if I may. They're just it's just stacking. You follow as far as your kid is going, and then you stop and hang out, as soon as they need a little extra love, you know what I mean? So if she's already all the way up there, I would even toss the label out of high school level or whatever. That you can brag about that with your friends, a little soft brag. My kid is doing high school work, but it's you go as far as your kid goes. Well, way to go. 13-year-old in high school work. That's fabulous. Fantastic.
But at the opposite end of the spectrum, it's you don't want to push your kids so much that they can't understand high school work, but you're doing it for the bragging part of it. You want to do it because it's at their actual level. Right. Oh, no, I was going to say, okay. So you said something to an effect of how one teacher knows it all and teaches it all. And, that's not how it is realistically, is that they should be digging in books and looking for different resources and stuff like that. I think too, we bring that mentality into our homes sometimes. We as parents don't feel like we know it all like a teacher does, because we didn't go to get a degree, which, to be quite honest, the degree in teaching is just a bunch of words. If you saw the classes that are required for a teaching certificate, they're not teaching me about history and all the wars and making memorizing facts or teaching me math skills. Like, they're not teaching me academics. They're teaching me how to teach. And a lot of that stuff on how to teach is like, it makes no sense. It's like they just keep repeating themselves and start adding extra words in there to look smart. That's I know I said, but because I have to do in-service a lot. Like, I have to go back and I have to do in-service to keep my certification. And I just sit here and I watch these people run circles around and spiral down like this crazy black hole because nothing does it. Just talk to your children and teach them. Like, it's not hard. It's a rocket scientist.
No, it isn't. But the thing is, I think children are a bit of a mystery to society at large. I mean, the majority of us as a workforce, I'm not speaking to you or me, but the majority of our workforce puts our kids in daycare, works every day, comes back home, and then summer break rolls around and it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do with them? And you have to plan out all these activities. And I remember that when my kids were in public school and summer break came around and I was like, oh gosh, I need to plan some stuff. And there was a little a mystery there of what am I really supposed to do? And I think kids don't need a whole lot. They need water, they need food, they need bathroom breaks, and they need a good book. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a ton. I mean, and the thing is, you can also dive deep into child development and you can dive deep into learning styles and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, children are just waiting to absorb and they're waiting to put out as well. They're waiting to be listened to. And they're not a huge mysterious force that needs to be wrangled. Although, well, anyway, so that's just my personal thing. And I think what you said was perfect. That was brilliant.
I was also going to add to that same idea that thinking that we should know, that the parents feel like they should know everything. Sometimes they'll find curriculum that is very traditional and very similar to public school, and that they bring that into their home and they're putting too much weight on that curriculum or too much trust in that curriculum to the point where it's like, well, the curriculum says we got to do it this way, so we have to do it this way. Or the benchmark, if they're looking at the benchmarks or they're looking at the scope and sequence, like whatever, they're letting the curriculum itself dictate to them. Instead of just trusting. Like, I always go back to, okay, look, that curriculum didn't give birth to your children. God himself gave you the children. Thus, God himself is the one that entrusted you to teach the children,
right?
Not that person who wrote the curriculum or that teacher that's teaching them. If he called you to homeschool, then, I mean, yes, there's resources out there like books and there's good stuff. But when you make that curriculum almost like an idol or put too much stock in that curriculum, you're falling away from the calling that God called you to do.
Right. Exactly.
So
I think, at the end of the day, curriculum is a tool, right? We say that a lot in our homeschool community. Curriculum is just a tool. I mean, I will say though, in our first year of homeschooling, I needed that. I needed that structure and I needed to be able to be like, they know what they're talking about. And I just have to trust in the process. You know what I mean? And I hear that a lot too. They're like, use this curriculum, trust in the process, you'll get there. So there is a little bit of a leap of faith. I'm going to trust this curriculum to get me where I'm going. And our first year, I trusted in the wrong curriculums. It didn't work. But I left that year older and wiser and knew what I needed. And
it didn't destroy your child.
Yeah. And it didn't destroy my child. That's an excellent point. Children are very, very resilient. And we were able to, fix everything that we needed to fix. That sounds very strange. By fix, I don't mean fix children, but fix what we were using and adjust what we needed to adjust. And that wasn't a big deal. It wasn't that hard. So there is a little bit of a leap of faith. There is a little bit of trust that you need to do when you are selecting a curriculum. But also, I think prayer and trusting in the Lord that he will guide your steps in what you need to teach. And that helps a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? the textbook is like man's book, but the Bible is like God's book.
Right.
So
right.
it's, I don't know, that's kind of slides in there a little bit. Okay, comments, because they're coming in. Oh, they are coming in. Okay. Okay, language arts goes from level 7 to high school, considered advanced, but they have a level 8 history book or book studies. Then she says, thank you. And then she says, exactly, that's what I do not want. I want to be able to go slower, but that curriculum goes from level 7 to high school with like an optional level 8 book study. I rather her go slower. I would just say, you know your child better than anybody else. Like I could give you all the advice in the world, but at the end of the day, you live with them. So go with your gut instinct is what I always say. Because I'm just trying to pick, I'm just trying to get a picture of your child based on what you tell me, and you may not tell me the whole picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So okay, I'm going to keep going. So Michelle says, she's speaking to Rita. You're lucky. I had a terrible time with my son when he was younger. He hates creative writing. My husband said he was the same way in school. My husband is a mechanical engineer. That makes sense. My dad hated writing.
There's a little genetic. You know, it's funny too, that creative writing.
Jamie's on here. Sorry.
Oh, is Jamie on here?
Jamie's on here.
Hello.
She says, so encouraging, ladies. She's coming on in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So everybody come back so we can all listen to Jamie. So with creative writing, I just want to jump in and just say really fast that some kids like get it really fast. My daughter is one of those kids who's like throwing up poems, creative writing, whatever, but she really struggles with like nonfiction structure kind of things. And she like, so we focus more on the nonfiction versus the creative writing. But creative writing, there's so many different avenues to try out with gaming. So we're like a big gaming family. Oh, okay, this is not at all about brainwashing, but that's what.
But if you think about it, gaming is not used in public school, and it's they use it maybe like free day,
right?
In enrichment, whenever if you're that
an enrichment source,
you made 100 on your spelling test, you can go to enrichment now.
Or you can do like an after school program where you go and do Legos or whatever. And that's so cool. And that is cool. That's a really good thing. But wouldn't it be nice if you could teach math with Legos as opposed to like after school activity or whatever?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I'll be quiet now. What do you want?
No, the next one I think is really interesting. Okay. How essential are homeschooling conferences?
Oh, I like them. I don't know if they're essential.
They can be overwhelming.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can find, and it's cool because when you do go to homeschool conventions, you can meet the authors, you can meet the curriculum writers, you can get an idea of who they are on a person-to-person base. You can fangirl over them. You can get to know them and then end up helping them with social media, like all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So I know that's a joke, guys, because it's not public information yet. But homeschool conventions are amazing. I mean, I think and also just meeting other homeschool moms, just sitting around the table, not feeling by yourself. I think every homeschool mom that walks into a homeschool convention feels like incredibly overwhelmed, but at the same time, it feels like you're part of a community.
Yes. And it is a community. It's a good place to find your people. Like if you're struggling to find a co-op, they'll frequently have, well, at least at the conventions I've been at too, they'll be like, here, this is a place where you can figure out where there are co-ops near you. It's a good place for your kids to meet other kids. And for me personally, I like going to them because it gives me a huge like burst of energy to start that new year. Like if the year that I missed it because of the word that won't be named, that was a really sad year because we couldn't, we missed that energy. We missed that kind of push and pull of like, oh, this is exciting, new year. So I don't know if they'd be essential, but they're really awesome if you can go.
They're fun. If you're not afraid of being overwhelmed, or just go in there expecting that all that curriculum, because literally when you walk into the convention hall or the book selling hall, everybody's trying to tell you that their curriculum is the best out there. There's the best. And
Yeah.
Sorry, somebody decided to call me. They didn't know I was live, but they do. You get bombarded and then you look around and then you go to, you can't decide which speaker to listen to. And it's hard, but you have to go in there kind of prepared for that. But after you go a while, it's really fun. It's not essential. It's fun. It's a perk. There's online conventions now too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I know our convention, I don't know if your convention does it. I'm going to volunteer next year for our convention, and I'm going to request to do the new Homeschool Mom booth where I get to sit there and talk to new. I want to do that so bad.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, like that would be I love doing that, like just kind of walking moms through things. I hope Suzanne puts me there. I so want to speak at our homeschool convention. If you guys want me to speak in Florida, please bombard
In the
Suzanne.
suggestion box. Yeah.
Her name is Suzanne. She's in charge of the FPA. She follows me. And I want to speak at the conference. But it's the Florida one's huge.
Big deal.
Yeah, they pay their convention speakers, I'm sure. I'm sure. But yeah. It's fun. Okay, there's lots of questions, and they're long questions. Can you see them? They're pretty long.
I can.
Oh my gosh. Okay, people are so I love this. I should be reading this as we go. I'm Samaya from Pennsylvania. I have a girl 5 years and she has Down syndrome and has problems with potty. Please, can you help me? Please, patience.
Name of the game.
And they told me age 10. I just got it to the point where and I'll be quick because this is not necessarily it is homeschooling. It is. I got to the point where I have to set a timer. I took a timer, and every 30 minutes I took her to the bathroom for a while, moved it to an hour, moved it to an hour and a half. And now we have like certain time set where it's like routinely, we just always go to the bathroom when we wake up, always use the toilet right after meals. And then eventually she's at the point now where like she holds and she goes to the bathroom when I take her, but she still hasn't initiated that. She once or twice, but I mean, that's where we are now. But they say age 10 is when it clicks, is what I've been told. So it's just patience and persistence. Okay. Curriculum is a tool only until you get the yearly eval and find out you haven't done enough.
Oh,
what? Who says no? Fire them. Fire your evaluator. Nobody should ever tell you that you haven't done enough. And I hope it wasn't me, because if you got that from me, I did not mean that ever. I hope I would never say that. I wouldn't say that to anybody. No. I hope. And if I ever like even made somebody feel that way, I repent. Like, fire them. Nobody should ever tell you that you haven't done enough.
And there are years where kids go really fast and they are way ahead of the game. And there are years where kids go slower and they take a little time. I mean, middle school years are the years where your brain is like shedding so many different kinds of neural connections from early childhood. And so sorry, I'm going a little deep here.
Go deep.
Go a little deeper. And so they lose track of a lot of things. That's why we get a lot of new mood swings, new hormones, puberty, whatever. And, and those are years where you slow down. I mean, you even see this in the public school system. You see math 6, math 7, math 8. What are they doing in those years? They're reviewing. They are building on concepts, but it's mostly review. And that's because of child development, just basic child development.
That might be one thing they got right. Sorry. But no, that's true. That is. I taught middle school.
Yeah. Well, you would probably speak more to this than I.
You're right.
But like, so there are years, and this happens throughout childhood too. I mean, when we're learning, we're not just learning everything at a steady, easy pace. There are years where you get things really fast, and there are years where you get things slower. And that's why you homeschool. If you want them to go at a certain pace, you send them to public school. That's where they'll be, because they will stick to that same pace, whether they need to go faster or slower, they will stay at that steady pace.
And that's what's nice thing about, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but with homeschooling, you can follow their developmental pace.
Yes. And every kid develops differently as well. We're not just all on the same little conveyor belt, developing at the same speed and learning things at the same speed. Some things click really fast, some things don't, and that's okay. That's all right. That's why you do what you're doing. You slow down, you speed up, And I agree. Any evaluator who says you need to, speed up or you went too slow this year should.
Or you didn't do enough.
You didn't do enough. Who says that?
I don't know. I think I read the question wrong. So I'm going back. Okay. I'm just going to like reread the whole thing. So she says, in quotations, curriculum is a tool.
Yeah.
Only until you get the yearly eval and find out you haven't done enough.
That my heart breaks for that. I'm sorry.
I know. Trust is key.
No,
but then she says, trust in Jesus Christ. He is the way to heaven, which yes.
Yes.
Then she says, when you go slow, in quotations, how do yearly homeschooling evaluations go? This is how they go. Great job. I am so proud of you for following your child's lead.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
That's what we want.
And being sensitive to your child's needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's huge. I think that's more important than cramming it down their throat and making them hate school. My kids have moments where they hate school. And I sometimes wonder if I do it wrong, especially my middle schooler right now. I told him tomorrow we're doing IEW. We're starting up IEW back. We love IEW. Once he gets into it, he'll get into it. But he's enjoyed like slowly easing into school.
Yeah.
And now we're going like, now we're full blown because now we added that back IEW.
I relate to that. My 13-year-old is like, or not my 13, she's only 12. This is the kind of week I've been having today. We just started school and I was telling them what we're going to be doing this week. And she's like, man, can I just like stay in my room and read my books? And I'm like, I love that that's who you are, but we really got to start working on school again. We can't just like hide in our rooms.
I love that you actually said, I love that's who you are, because I would be like, no. Oh man. Okay.
I would love that. As a child, I would have loved to just hole up in my room and just read my books and just, slip my food under a door.
See, my son is, and that's how my second son is. He just wants to sit in a room and read. The other son, he used to be a writer until the pandemic hit. And then when the pandemic hit, his best friend was on Roblox. And that's when we exposed him to video games for the first time.
Yeah.
But he used to write and write and write. And he was such a good writer. He would write stories. He would like staple them into little books.
That's fun.
I'm like, you gotta get back into that. And he's like, no, Minecraft. And if he does, it's a story about Minecraft. And I'm like,
all right.
But I limit the Minecraft. Like I really do. And I got Coda Kids and he'll work on that. But like,
good.
He's like me. He gets obsessed about things. She knows.
I know.
She knows.
I do too. We all have our quirks.
Yeah. And he gets that way sometimes. So okay. So that's what she said. Oh, so her second question is, I live in Miami and I would like to know if I can hire you, Leilani, for my daughter's evaluation next year. Yeah. But you gotta contact me early because I do it all Zoom, which is good because you're in Miami. I do it all Zoom and I do 1 day a week and I just all straight through. That's how everybody's like, how do you have all the time for doing evaluations? And I'm like, I literally, in the marriage contract, my mother-in-law wrote in, I have to have your kids once a week. I'm joking, but you get the point. So like, and she's Hispanic, so she's Puerto Rican. So it's like built into the culture where she has to have them. And so what am I going to do that day? Well, I'm going to do evaluations. So that's kind of what happens.
Not get her nails done. I go out and to the salon.
That's what you would do.
Evaluation.
I want to do evaluations. I like it though. I get to meet all these cool people. So
she does. She tells me, well, she doesn't tell me about
I don't tell details.
No, she just says, I met this really cool family today. And I'm like, oh, that's so fun. She loves you people. She loves the Florida people. And
then now I'm getting, what is it? I'm trying to like get in touch. I'm getting together with a fangirl, like to hang out. I did her evaluation and then I emailed her. I'm like, can we hang out?
So that's the key here, people. If you want Leilani to evaluate it and help you out, then you also have to go out and hang out with her. So I mean, like, you should sign up. I'm
a very like, I'm not a, I like my
that's what I would do.
Time.
Man, if I lived in Florida, I'm in North Carolina. So we do it a little differently.
Yes, you're different.
But and I would never move to Florida. If I did, it would be for Leilani. But there's too many alligators there. We've talked about this. But I would totally have her evaluating all my kids.
Yeah.
No,
There's
no.
an alligator and a baby down the street.
Oh my
Don't
God.
bother us. They're just there. I'll take a video next time. We take videos of alligators. That's what we do.
That's so just like, that's just like out of my, okay, we need to talk about brainwashing some more.
Brainwashing. Okay.
Back on track.
No, but a lot of these people are Floridians. Okay. Oh, people are sticking with us. We got 43 people in the chats.
Hanging out. Come hang out with us.
You're seeing a whole nother side of me because like, when I get I'm like different talking to myself, but now I have someone with me. It's like, okay, so I can't read all of a sudden. Okay, I hope I didn't skip any. So yes, hire me. This person says, Michelle, my son was slow with writing at first. He just needed to mature. Yeah, cognitive development. Now he's an exceptional writer. It just takes some kids longer. Yeah. All right. Our family videos, junior year, child just diagnosed with OCD, anxiety. We believe ASD traits. Okay. In Tennessee, I think that's Tennessee, have a list of curriculum. English is hard for us. We're doing the good and the beautiful, and it's not working. Any suggestions?
I'm starting lightning literature. I've been using the good and the beautiful. I still use it for my younger kids actually, but we're transitioning to lightning literature for my 4th grader. We like it so far. What do you use IEW? We have IEW for my 12-year-old, and we really like him.
Yeah, I like it.
He was pretty cool. He's pretty fly. We just say
I'm
that.
gonna tell him that next time I see him. No.
That's another thing. You go to homeschool
You
convention.
get to see these people.
Yes.
Andrew Poodle was awesome. He's so awesome.
He's
He's
cool
like,
guy.
I talked to him and I was like kind of fangirly, but he like the way he talks to you, he'll calm you down. And then I told him about my kids, and then he made a video on my phone to my kids.
That's so nice. He's a really nice man.
He's so
Nice
awesome.
guy. Yeah.
There's a lot of awesome. You get to meet so many cool people. So many cool people. Yeah, there's something about meeting the authors of the curriculum that just really make it or break it sometimes for us moms. Because if we click with that author, then we know it's going to work for our kids. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. I mean, like you can get a vibe off of booths and off of authors, whether or not their style is going to fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I could. Well, and then I'm thinking of another one. I know what you're thinking, but I was thinking about Talkbox Mom.
Oh yeah.
I met her.
Yeah.
I was
So
literally,
cute.
and
Yeah.
as we're using the Homeschool Spanish Academy, which we're still using, and it's great. But I also use her stuff to kind of supplement because I clicked with her and I love her. So that was one of those. Going back to the homeschool conventions. And Connie Alberts, I also loved her too. What's funny is she recognized me and I almost like fell over.
Really? That's cool.
I did. And I
You're
don't think you know, well, no, that's cool. People see me at the convention. Like somebody texted me and they were like, I wanted to talk to you, but I was scared to. And I'm like, seriously, come talk to me. Like, let's have dinner. Let's have some tea, coffee, you know. Okay, so I got to get back to chats because people are leaving the room because they're leaving probably because they have to put their kids to bed. Okay, I lost my place. Whoa, okay. Oh, I did. I kept scrolling. Okay, interesting. My son has wait, did we answer the OCD anxiety question?
No, I think you started it.
One, you said lightning literature. We said IEW. Good and the Beautiful is not working. There's Well-Trained Mind, which is pretty good. But that's more, that might be really good for OCD, to be honest, because it is very OCD. Our family vlog says hard because everything's going on, I think. I don't know what she said. Sorry.
That's probably something we were talking about earlier with
true.
brainwashing.
Interesting. My son has ADHD. Books are tough. He's better with nonfiction. Mine is too. My son is really good with nonfiction and not with fiction. They're great for getting. Oh, they're great. Oh, yeah. Conventions. They're great for getting physical flip throughs on the curriculum. And then thank you guys. My homeschool co-worker homeschools all 4 of her kids. They are highly successful now. She suggests She suggested conventions. We're in New Jersey now, moving to Florida soon. Yeah, Florida's awesome. So is New Jersey. My husband's from New Jersey, so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is. He
Oh.
was Puerto Rican Jersey. There is a community up there.
Oh no, there's Jersey Shore there. No. You hang out with Snooki? No. I'm just kidding.
I know, I've never seen the show.
I've never either. I have
Okay,
just throwing out pop culture references on the, and I have
maybe
no
the algorithm picks it up and like suggests us to people who like Jersey Shores. Okay. When is the Florida convention? May, end of May. We should plan a vacation week then. We vacation 3 to 4 weeks a year in Florida. That's pretty cool convention. Former 24 weeks. Selective mutism, 0 to 9 years old. Homeschooling since 6th grade. Okay. I'm worried about my preteen with ADHD. He's a boy. I pulled him because he was being left behind in the not left behind child mindset school. Class of 27 didn't work for him. So homeschool definitely better. I would recommend classic short stories or plays for literature if having a hard time with books. I struggle and still do finishing books in school, but fell in love with English lit. Men of Iron was too hard and we shelved it. Thanks. I was so worried for when we get to Florida with the they're not scary. Evaluations sound scary, but they're not. Click the button, everyone. Yay, click the like button. It gets pushed out every time you click it. I came across a boy reading the diary of a wimpy kid today. He looked older. I asked, how old are you? He said 19. So I guess you're never too old for them. Never read these books. But I know kids have. Okay. Great. Thank you. I'll contact you very soon. Also, may I use the evaluation time to ask you a few questions? Everybody does. Everybody does. I just look at the time. That's it. I don't like to go over an hour. If it's one kid, it's usually like 30 minutes at the most. Sometimes it's 15 minutes, but if it's like 3 kids, an hour and 15 minutes, usually I look at the time and my schedule. But I mean, we'll have counseling. I've had evaluations that take 10, 15 minutes and then it turns into a counseling session. I'm not a certified counselor, but I will listen.
Great therapy for me. I talked to her for therapy.
I talked to you for therapy too. New Jersey doesn't have evaluation needs. Yeah, I know. That's awesome. It's like the heaviest restricted state has the most relaxed homeschool rules. Wow.
That's funny because I know New York has really heavy homeschool laws. I didn't know New Jersey was fairly lax. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, many authors come to the conventions. Not all of them, but many, many do. Sometimes they'll hire people or like volunteers will come and work the booths for them. But yeah, a lot of the authors will come because they're speaking.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of authors come to the conventions to speak, and that's why they're there, is to push out their material, to advertise
their autograph and pictures.
Yeah,
take selfies with them.
Right. Rebecca Spooner from Gather Round, she's a big YouTuber. She was at our homeschool convention this past year and she was hilarious. It was so much fun to listen to her speak. She's living the dream, isn't she? Living our dream.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Okay, so questions about suggestions, advice, I think it's advices for my daughter high school year. Her name is Miss Mia Leilani. Oh, her name is Mia Leilani, by the way. That's fun. Hi, I'm hearing about evaluations. I live in Texas. I've never heard of them. Am I doing? Nope, you're in Texas. Florida has evaluations. Don't listen to them. Like Texas, totally different, different state laws because the homeschooling laws are done by the states.
So check HSLD. What's the link?
HSLDS.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's right. Check that
community.
For your class.
Community is probably Perth, Amboy area. I don't know what that means, but so only certain states give. Okay, one kid. I'm in New York. It's pain but doable. I feel like I maybe drag out my evaluator time because my kids do so much notebooking that I can't separate out just a few pages. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. That does happen. I mean, nobody knows what to expect. Like, and the homeschool law is like, you show me, you show the evaluators what you have. Okay. Going back to brainwashing.
Let's talk about brainwashing.
HSLDS. You had a second point that I wanted to bring up. I got to find your text. Okay. Guilt associated with depriving our kids of something that is common experience, or wondering if we are actually equipped to teach. We kind of talked about that. Yeah. Yeah. And then secular education versus religious education. So guilt associated with depriving our kids of something that is common experiences. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
What are common experiences?
Well, the obvious one that comes to my mind is high school experiences like prom, homecoming, that sort of thing. And right. And also just, being in the common area and doing sporting events and cheerleading. I mean, that's kind of I'm trying to help me out here. I'm not sure. I'm just like repeating High School Musical now. Well,
High School Musical, musicals. Well, they have homeschool musical.
Theater problem. Yeah. Theater,
cheerleading,
extracurriculars,
the social thing, the prom, the homecoming.
I think it's probably mostly the social thing. Like you're worried, not necessarily about the classes, but worried about them missing out on the social events and the things that other peers are doing.
Football games.
Right. And not having that experience.
But do we really want our kids in that environment too? That's another thing to think about. It's like you're literally throwing together a bunch of people the same exact age into a building with like the ratio is completely off.
And it's funny because there's no part in society where that's ever repeated
again.
It never happens again. And you're not looking over at your coworker next to you and being like, I think he's 2 years older than me. Like that would never.
Hey, do you want to go to prom?
Do you want to talk about prom? No. No, I don't.
And most of the people we work with are like a variety of ages.
That's right. And
so
from backgrounds.
Yeah. And different. And I forgot what I was gonna say. Well, variety of backgrounds, but variety of ages. And then these kids that come out of public schools sometimes have a hard time communicating with somebody who is 30 years older than them because they're a different generation and they're so used to their little group. And they always complain and say, we don't have social skills, homeschoolers. Yet my kids can talk to like 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds appropriately.
Right. Because they've been out and about, and you do a good job exposing them to a variety of circumstances that are natural to the world, right?
But what would be really weird is if a 60-year-old, nope, not going to go there. You knew what I was going to say. We don't talk prom. We don't talk prom in real life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, I think, as a parent, we want our kids to have the best of everything. We want them to have the best education. We want them to have the best life experiences. And that is natural. And that is absolutely God-given, right? We want to protect our kids and we want them to have good, healthy experiences, not just within our home, but also out in the world and the community. And looking outside, we know that other kids are experiencing this major event and they are, I hate going back to prom. So let's pick something different, but like a sporting team, for instance, or marching band. It can be rather difficult. Although I know of several homeschool communities within my area that do theater, that do football, that do soccer camp, that do marching band. It's not too difficult, but it depends on where you are at, and it's not widely available, right? So as a parent, you feel worried that your kids are missing out on something. That to me is not a reason to put them back into school, but I understand that desire of giving them that. So I guess we should talk about how do you either combat that or how do you recreate it if that's even necessary to recreate. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's
think.
necessary to recreate.
Is it even necessary to recreate?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But here's the other thing I was thinking when you were talking is you want them to have the best education. So what determines the best education for them in your mind?
Right. Well,
And that's
I think,
hard
yeah,
because how many of us bring in those public school mindsets
yes,
because
yeah,
it's comfortable
right.
and
And
best
bring
experience?
those milestones. Well, I mean, and that's another thing too, is that we also see lists. I am actually a big fan of the what your child needs to know by kindergarten, preschool, first grade. I don't use them, and I don't flip through them and be like, oh my gosh, my second grader doesn't know her geography. You know, like I don't use it that way, but I think it's a good resource, and I like having those books for my kids to flip through or whatever. But I saw a mom post just fairly recently, and she had found a list for third graders. And it was this long list of, you know, what grammar levels they should be at, what math levels they should be at. And she said, my daughter can do 2 of these. What am I going to do? Oh, and this goes back to, you know, if they're behind on their evaluations or whatever, you know what I mean? And I haven't reached those goals yet. And therefore, we're failing, we're falling behind, and I am not providing the good education that I wanted to, right? And those lists can be toxic if they filter in and you feel so much pressure in meeting that. Like it's, if you're not reaching that expectation, then you are a failure, right?
Yeah. But then once again, I always go back to those are man's expectations.
Exactly. Exactly. Those are men's expectation. Well, humanity's expectations of what, and who came up with those? Who decided that? That's right. And
Webster.
right. And
No, Dewey, that's it, not Webster, Dewey. You know, do you know what
right.
I'm talking about?
Yeah. Do we we come up with these things, these arbitrary lists, and we say this is where our kids need to be at, and we don't. Those are a tool, a guide, a goal, whatever you want to call them. But at the end of the day, your kids are going to flourish on what you are. They're going to flourish by not being pressured to meet some arbitrary list that some person who doesn't even know them created, right? And those lists should be tossed out. I maybe referenced, but not
As
so.
long as you know where it comes from.
Right.
Like you acknowledge this is just a tool. This is not like and not an idol, not the word of God. This is a tool that, and there's fun stories in there. So it's fun to like those lists are fun. Benchmarks too. That's another thing that people like to hang off on. Yeah. I know when I started homeschooling, one of the first things I started doing was looking through benchmarks. I printed them all out. Don't do that. Don't.
I did that my first year too. I went through North Carolina's public school list of what they were going to reach and being like, I'm going to reach all of these. And now I look back on that and I'm like, I'm pretty sure my neighbors down the street who go to public school, those kids haven't reached any of those benchmarks.
The thing is, it's a game. It's a game. When you're a teacher, you're trained to come up with an idea and then find all those benchmarks that it touches on. Did you know that?
So, that sounds like so much work.
Oh no, I was good at that. I was good. I was so good at that.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I was so, you know what I used to do? I was like, I'm taking my kids to Disney on a field trip. This is, before Disney, before all the things. This is like 15 years ago. And I was like, my kids are going to Disney. And I had to write a paper to prove to the district, whoever was the person in charge of making these decisions, that it was educational for my class to go to Disney. So I literally scoped out the benchmarks and I pulled everything that I thought could be educational about Disney. And we went to Disney.
And the thing is, as impressed as I am about that, it is a game. And what does it actually mean, or what does it actually matter in the long run, because
and that's what we were educated in as teachers. That's our degree is learning how to play the game. That's what we got a degree in.
Oh, that's so depressing. That's so depressing.
I shouldn't say that. There's other teachers that might be hearing me and being like, no, we learn more than, yeah, okay. We learn childhood development through in-services and, but
You know what it is? It's not, you know what, and we can't even fault teachers for it, because it's really the bureaucracy that is surrounded by public school systems and the red tape and the people that aren't even educating your kids and telling you how to do it. You know what I mean? Who are really making these decisions and choices and making it even more difficult to educate in a large base. We could go there. Do we want to go there? Or we could just leave this here.
And part of me is like, will I get canceled? I'm not big enough to get canceled. I mean, if Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro are doing fine, I don't think we can go there.
Yeah.
Do you want to go there?
We can do, this is your channel.
Okay. Well, I was looking at stuff about, I almost was going back to like, what is education? And I was trying to find a good definition of what education was in my handy dandy notebook that I write all in.
Is this Blue's Clues handy dandy notebook? Our handy dandy notebook. Anybody else get that reference?
I did. Yeah, I'm looking for it. Just, just that the, Bible talks about education is super important to kids, but the definition of education according to scripture is different than what the public school teaches. It's important for them. It's instruction too. It talks about instruction. Sorry, I'm skimming this. Training, teaching, learning, instruction, knowledge, and wisdom. Stuff like take my instruction, knowledge. Blessed is
about wisdom. Let's talk about wisdom, because I think that is something that is taught in the Bible that we can literally pull from and be like, let us be wise, right? And to me, that equates to common sense and being thoughtful of what we are taking into our home and what we are putting out into the world, right? And how much of that is available in the public school system. We're so worried about our EOG. Do you guys have EOGs down there? I don't even know. It's just a standard test that North Carolina schools have to take, right?
I don't know it.
And it's all just structure, and we have to reach a certain level on these tests. Otherwise, teacher's job is on the line and the kids' education is on the line, and there's so much anxiety and stress surrounded that. And that's no longer education. That's no longer education.
It's not education.
No,
that's them trying to gather information to show the world that show the world that they're doing a good job.
It's pulling statistics, and and I can see the value in that to some degree, but maybe not to. It has become such a huge problem in our society and education at large. And, and I feel like homeschoolers, we can skim underneath that. We are under the radar of that, and we don't have to, that sounds subversive. So let me rephrase that. What it means is that we do not have to take that anxiety into our home. We don't need to reach those standards that some arbitrary bureaucrat has come up with. And it's just gotten out of hand, right?
Yeah.
But
the thing is, we don't even realize we're doing it.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
No, I'm just going through my handy dandy notebook and trying to multitask.
No, you go ahead and multitask. I'll keep talking. So we're talking about
keep talking.
I'll just keep talking, and when you're ready to say something, you go for it.
I was just going to say this one verse: train up your child the way he should go, even when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's almost like the lifelong learner thing.
Yeah.
But be mindful and aware of what you're training up your child in. And it's training them up in the law of the Lord.
Right.
In the ways of God.
Right. I have in my planner, I have it written that whatever you put in, they'll be able to pull out later. So if I'm putting in God's word into my kids, when they are put into situations where it's kind of a gray area or whatever, they'll be able to pull out what we have worked on and thought through and talked about. And that is wisdom. If you put in God's wisdom into their hearts, they will be able to pull out real wisdom into a world that has been educated, and they don't have wisdom. They don't have that just basic common sense and the ability to learn outside of the structure and the formula. I think that's what breaks my heart the most. I mean, we talk about high schoolers, and by the time they get to senior year, you're like, okay, you got to make a huge decision here about going to college. What do you want to do? And they're like, I don't even know. I have been told my entire life since kindergarten what I'm supposed to be doing. I need to be cutting these circles out and gluing them to this paper. And now we need to walk to the bathroom. And now we're going to lunch. And now I'm going to finish this worksheet. And now I'm going to, like every step of the way by rote. And then all of a sudden they're given all this freedom of what do you actually want to learn about? And it's like, I don't even know what that looks like. I don't even know what that means. Okay, well, it's going to cost you $40,000. Like, we do not, the public education system, I believe, does not set them up for the ability to think freely and learn freely. And that's what's sad. And
there's history and agenda behind all of it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm reading through these comments, and somebody agrees with me too. They say they were a public school teacher, and a lot of them are just making statements, which are really, really good. And it's hard to, there's a lot of them. I'm just going to say that they're talking about foreign languages. I think some of them are talking to each other. Education is reading, writing, and arithmetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I would disagree with that.
Okay. What do you think?
I think education, I think those are subjects.
Ooh,
but I think education is the idea of training your child in the way that they should go.
That's a good point.
I think that's the other thing that people will take, because they're so focused on the reading, writing, and arithmetic. I mean, reading is super important, because without reading, you can't vote. No, you can't.
Right.
Well, but now you can go and vote without being able to read. But back in the old days, that was one of the reasons they pushed.
That was one of the things. Oh gosh.
And reading the Bible. That was the other thing. But without reading, it's almost like it's a tool that you need to be able to
open up great thinkers. Right.
Yeah, like read scripture, read good novels, like those kind of things. And writing is a form of communication. Whether you're typing, we still have to type. We're not all voice to text. I'm getting blurry. I'm sorry. I'm going to do this and it'll kind of clear up. Hopefully. There we go.
You just
it's my camera. And then arithmetic is just, I mean, it's a tool. Numbers are really, really important. I mean, I'm not going to deny it, but who said that those three are the most important? I mean, I think is the idea of education is the training, the wisdom, teaching, learning, instruction, learning the ways of God.
Right.
I mean, numbers are the ways of God. I mean, God thinks mathematically, logic, all those things. And I mean, reading is the ways of God, because you got to be able to read. Communicating, but it's the ways of God. I mean, God designed all of that. He created all of that. But we need to be focused on him. And then, the other stuff, we have to acknowledge that the other stuff is under his authority and his creation. And if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. Well, it puts me in mind of, did you read A Long Walk to Water? Oh, no. The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind.
Ooh, a long time ago.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Has anybody else, if anybody's read that, say something in the chat.
I gotta scroll down.
So the whole premise of that is that he's living in Africa. Forgive me, it's been a hot minute since I've read the book, so I can't say the country. But there is a huge famine, right? And he's no longer allowed to go to school because his family has no money. And so he goes to the library and just reads the books there, and eventually teaches himself like mechanical engineering, and is able to harness the wind and produce electricity for first his room, and then to his house, and then, to other parts of his village, right? And that, I would say, I think if you were, and I've met people like that in my life who didn't necessarily do formal schooling, but were wise, and not just street smart, but had wisdom because they had learned. So maybe they didn't have the degree paper, but they knew how to teach themselves anything. And how many of us actually have that skill to sit down and be like, I'm going to learn how to use Instagram? I don't, like that is something that being able to teach yourself and learning how to do the thing is infinitely more worthwhile than just having things taught at you, right? I hopefully as homeschool parents, we're not just teaching at our kids and hoping some of that stuff will stick. Hopefully we are showing them how to learn and how they best learn, and using curriculum as a tool, using the library as a tool, that they can learn anything that they want and absorb any of that, and become wise in that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to learn how to learn.
Somebody said Mozambique. Thank you, Alina.
Mozambique. We also, so the words are hard at 10:38 at night.
That's right. How long did you want to do this?
I don't know. Well,
I forgot to ask.
Yeah. Usually I'm thinking an hour, but I mean, it's up to you. I don't want to stay too much longer, but people will like, I have to go back. I try to go back and do like the bookmarks or whatever, the chapters, and then I'm like, and then I get like 10 minutes done, and then everyone's like, what happened to the rest of it? Yeah, okay. So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the idea of teaching yourself how to learn, that's super important. That's what I got out of that, what you just said. Teaching yourself how to learn.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it.
But that's, I mean, but see, now look at our society nowadays. I know how to use YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like now reading is not always essential, but what happens if you lose access to the internet? I mean, it's kind of like where we are today. We're like, we don't know how to farm. What if we have no access to a supermarket?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think about those kind of things. Like,
no, and that is something to consider, that we need people to think.
And you're talking about critical thinking skills.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That was like the most intelligent thing I've said this entire time. We need people to
that's not true.
think.
We do.
We do.
Logic, right?
Yeah.
Which I know really good curriculum. A logic curriculum, which will be announced later on.
Yay.
Talk about that later. I'll do like a flip through.
Subscribe to find out.
Yeah.
All these people are
they're all subscribed.
They already know you. This is it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't know if there's anything else. Getting back to the basics. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we should close with a pop quiz. Do you want to like
No, I'm like, oh, we should like teach our children how to learn, and now you're gonna quiz through that stuff. No, what are we quizzing about? I didn't study for this.
Like 20 questions, but not 20 questions where we could take turns. Okay. It was like I was thinking that one interviewer at the end of his interviews, he's like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? I'm like, that would be a fun trend.
Okay, you kind of got me hyperventilating. Like I needed to know about like Play-Doh or something.
What was the year that Pep in the Short pulled the Franks? Go. Did you answer that? No. All right. We're learning about Pep in the Short right now in history. Do you even know who he is?
Pep in the who?
Pep in the Short. We're learning about him in history. Okay, but I was thinking this could be fun. This we're doing, I'll forget about him. Like, no, I won't.
Okay.
It's actually kind of cool. Anyway, so okay. So I could do one of two things. Wow, now I have some really fun ideas. But I was gonna say, okay, I could either go with like 10 fun questions, like, did you know? Oh, you guys could ask us 10 fun questions. Do you want to ask us? Maybe we could be a tradition. Maybe at the end of every like live that I do, people can put 10. We'll pick 10, the first 10 questions you guys write of something fun fact that you want to know about us.
Okay.
That you don't. Because you wouldn't ask a question otherwise.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking questions. Okay. There's a delay. There's a delay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, next time when you do this, you need to say it at the end. We will be doing 10 fun questions. So prepare your fun questions.
Prepare your fun questions.
Yeah. No.
I'm almost scared now, actually. Tea or coffee? Go.
I don't drink either.
I want to say tea.
Okay.
Because that's the right thing to do, but I do have to have my coffee, even though I'm not supposed to drink it.
I didn't know you drank coffee.
I'm not supposed to
drink coffee.
I tell people I don't because I don't want people to buy me coffee because then I sneak it. I literally, you'll find me in the corner sneaking coffee, but I drink tea. Yeah. I drink tea. I do drink tea. Okay.
What is your
favorite smell? My son's feet. No, that's my least favorite smell. My favorite smell. I like roses.
Oh, you know what smells really good is lavender or rosemary bushes. Like if you run your fingers through lavender or rosemary and then you smell your hands. Like that, I do this. I run my fingers through it and I go, oh, that smells so good.
It reminds me of that SNL episode where there we go. Like
yes. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
I do that with my rosemary too. Like the rosemary. I like geranium too, but like geranium essential oils. Okay. I love this. Favorite sitcom? The Office.
Yes.
The Office or Seinfeld.
Agreed. I like The Office. That's pretty funny.
There's this one, oh my gosh, there's this one from England that I keep watching over and over again. Maybe that's my, man, am I supposed to just answer one? It's called, oh my gosh, one of my favorite actors is in it. I swear, I want to be his best friend.
From England?
It's from England. And it's kind of,
you're not thinking
the
like
IT crowd. The IT crowd.
Oh yeah. I've only seen like 1 or 2 episodes of that, but that looks really funny.
And the guy, oh my gosh, with the curly black hair, and he does the voice of something in a cartoon. But every time I hear his voice, I'm like, I love him. I love the IT crowd. That's my favorite sitcom. Okay, what's yours?
No, I would say The Office. I'll take The Office. That sounds good.
Not the British version. No. That's like 3 questions. Okay. Yeah. Favorite book?
Jane Eyre. I'm a huge Jane Eyre fan. Yes, I read it like once a year. Yep. I love that book. What about you?
I'm gonna bust nerdiness out because this is actually my favorite. You know what I'm gonna say?
Oh, I do know what you're gonna say.
I'm obsessed with this book. It's literally sitting right here.
Oh, look.
It's the physics.
Speaking of fangirls.
I am. The Physics of Einstein. Favorite book.
Check it out on Amazon. It's worth it. It's a good book. Yeah.
She read it with me. I made her read it with me.
And it was worth it. It's worth the read.
Did you finish it?
I'm still okay. So I'm not as smart as Leilani. You guys probably have already picked up on this, but I'm not. I have to like sit there and stare at it for a couple of minutes and then like set it to the side and think about it for a few minutes. And then
I had to do that too. But I did the whole book. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like the whole book.
It's really,
if you can handle physics and
even if you can't handle physics, do I look like a person that can handle physics? I can't even handle physics like walking across a room.
You can skip over trigonometry. Just skip over the trigonometry and the algebra.
Don't say trigonometry. Nobody's gonna.
I didn't say calculus, but calculus is in there. But you skip over those parts. You don't need to. Those. That's for the people that need the extra math. but just you could skip over it and it makes it for a faster read. But it talks about like but it's from a biblical perspective. Like
it does. And that's
quantum,
really
well,
cool
he doesn't go into quantum, but the physics of Einstein, like it's so good. I read it in 6 weeks and I was like,
a lot smarter than me.
I obsessed with this book. I still go back and read it. Do you know that? But Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre?
Yes.
That's so cool. I haven't read that book since high
school. All right. Beach or mountain? Beach or mountain? It's the beach for you, isn't it? It's gotta be. There aren't any mountains in Florida, right?
Yeah, but I know, but it's I can go to the mountain in summer, spring, autumn, and winter, but I can only do the beach during summer.
Okay, so I will contest that. I went to the beaches in January when I lived in Florida, and I hung out with all the old people tanning. That's what we did. I didn't actually get in the water, but Leilani, I saw things. I saw things
in the water, right? In the water, or no, you saw things?
No. I mean, the old people tanning. I was like, things that you just cannot unsee again. So I do mountain. I choose mountain.
I'm kind of picking mountain.
Oh, good. You come up here and go to the mountains with me.
I love North Carolina. I used to go every summer with my grandparents. I don't even know how many questions these are. Favorite dessert? I
actually eat dessert. Leilani, you might not know, does not eat dessert. What's your favorite dessert, Leilani?
Pistachios.
Pistachios. That's not a dessert.
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 Avocado and pistachios. It's my cheap food. That's what. I hate chocolate. Don't ever buy me chocolate. I can't stand it. I got chocolate in my mouth the other day and I was like gagging in the sink.
The physics of Einstein is Leilani's dessert of choice. Yeah. I'm all about ice cream. If I can get my ice cream, somebody interrupted my ice cream. I was talking to Leilani yesterday and I was like, I've got my ice cream. It's been an ice cream kind of day. And somebody interrupted. And by the time I came back, it was all melted. And
it was melted? Darn it.
It was sad.
I really wanted you to eat that ice cream.
I deserved it. I deserved ice cream.
Ice cream makes me gag, but I had 2 bags of pistachios today, so I'm good.
Wow. I like pistachios, but I consider that like, hey, I ate pistachios and now I'm allowed to eat ice cream. I don't like think, oh man,
coffee is my dessert.
Can't eat dessert anymore.
Okay, this is more fun. Ages and how many kids Summer has. Oh, see, that's like a normal question. Go.
It's like a normal question. This is not a normal answer. I have 6 kids and their ages 12, 10, 8, 5, 2, and a baby. I had a brain moment there.
And a baby.
And what are the ages of all your kids?
12, 11. He just turned 11 last week. 12, 11, 8, and 5.
That's fun.
Pet peeve. This is more than 10, I think.
They're just fun to answer.
They are.
A pet peeve. Oh. Smacking, like when you're eating. That drives me
I'll make
nuts.
sure to do that next summer. I'm gonna Marco Polo.
Just so cute.
I did that to Ryan. Do you know Ryan Smith on Mama on a Mission? Yeah. No, Mama on the Move. No, on the Move is Yasmin. Mama
that's
on a
Yasmin.
Mission. Yeah. I literally got on. She hates ASMR. She's gonna hate this. And I would get on there. I'm like, today. And I would do that. She's like, Leilani, okay.
What's your pet peeve?
To drive her crazy. My pet peeve.
You like people. You don't.
Huh?
You like people. You don't have pet peeves.
You know what I was gonna say though? When people insult other people in front of me.
Ooh.
Like insults. Like, not just, it's not like I can handle gossip, like somebody saying, I can handle gossip, but when they're like, they are so stupid, or like when they insult their kids in front of me.
Oh, that's not a pet peeve. That's just the worst. I don't tolerate that. It's like, no.
I also whining. That's more of a pet peeve. I hate whining.
Oh, I whine all the time.
Don't whine.
I'm constantly whining to you. What are you?
No, you don't. Okay. Stop. It's annoying. No. Oh, somebody likes the it crowd too. They know it. Okay. Should we skip that one? Most embarrassing moment.
I don't have embarrassing moments because I'm extremely self-confident in myself. Even when I do something super embarrassing, I'm super cool about it and it doesn't embarrass me. Does anybody believe that? Believe that garbage? Do you know? But do you have an embarrassing moment?
I've had lots of them. And I can't think of one specific. I
can, but I don't know if it's kosher for YouTube.
Might not be. There's some weird, embarrassing moments. Oh man. Sometimes there's really fun stories. Embarrassing moment.
Oh, I've got one.
Okay,
this
go.
Is funny. This is a funny one. And now watch, it's not gonna be funny at all. So I tend to have internal conversations with myself like all the time. And the thing is, they play out on my face. I don't have like a filter on my face to stop me. So I'll be sitting in church thinking about a person that annoyed me or things that I have to do. And it'll just be like, and my husband looks over and is like, you got to fix this. Got to fix this. And I was having an internal conversation while getting ready for the day. And my mother-in-law was staying with us. And I was arguing in my head with my brother-in-law about how wrong he was about a certain topic. And the thing was, it was no longer just internal. I was like literally like speaking, but no sound was coming out. I was like, made this huge like mess. And my mother-in-law came in and I didn't notice her. And I'm sitting there doing my hair, like, and she's like, are you all right? Is everything okay? And I'm like, hi, Trish, everything's fine. Why would anything be the matter? And she's like, well, you look very concerned. And I was like, I was just arguing with Jake. And she's like, is he here? I was like, no.
No, it is funny.
That was really embarrassing. And I was just mortified for a really long time.
Mine was when I was tanning on the beach. No, I'm joking. I feel like mine are all like wardrobe malfunctions.
Oh,
like
no.
Those are my embarrassing moments.
Oh no.
I mean, I had 4 kids, so
yeah. Oh no.
Those are mine. I feel like those are mine, but I think we're to the end of the questions. I think they counted them for us. I think that's 10.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do we need to end? It's 12:54. We should probably get going.
54. No, that's 12. I do have stuff to do.
10:54. Oh gosh.
I got to script something, and then I've got to go to sleep. Maybe.
No, she's gonna Marco Polo me at 2 a.m. and be like,
yeah,
physics summer.
Summer. You won't believe what happened. No, I do. Yeah, I do that. I do that with you and with Jamie.
And I love it.
Still on here.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things about you. I love it. I love it.
Sometimes Katie. Oh, who else do I do that with? Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a couple other people. I might Marco Polo at 2 a.m.
But I'm her favorite. Let's
be careful, because I think Jamie's still on here and she might have to contest that.
No, I'm sorry.
Or Ashley's on here. I don't know. You got people on here. My husband will contest that though. He'll be like, wait a second. At 2 a.m, I'm the one that she's talked to.
Talking to.
He comes in home that late too, actually, sometimes, but
yeah.
He works late. That's why I have so much time. And I'm rambling and talking way too much about myself. This is how people are going to find out weird personal information about me that I try to hide from YouTube.
Oh, sorry.
Now they know that I don't eat chocolate and ice cream makes me gag. And now they
Make
know
you
my
more
favorite.
human. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now they know I'm like a nerd and read physics books for fun.
Yeah, they already knew that.
They know that. They don't know how nerdy I am. They think I'm reading like childhood development books. Which
That's pretty
totally,
nerdy too.
I do read them.
I read them too. We all do. Yeah. Yeah. You're my people. You're my
Yeah,
people.
I know. Like it's a certain people. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we laugh at ourselves. All right. Are you going to link? Wait, they want us to link the book recommendation.
Oh.
Jane Eyre and
Yeah.
my physics book.
There we go.
I don't know which, I was gonna say I don't know which Jane Eyre book. Oh my gosh.
Well, Jane Austen too. I love a good Jane Austen thing, but I
Yeah.
love Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is my favorite.
Yeah.
Which is not written by Jane Austen at all. It's Charlotte Bronte. So
See, Jamie's still here. She's saying it's so awesome. We're like talking. So then you have to come back and listen to me and Jamie.
there you go.
August. No, wait, no, I'm like really going backwards. Time traveling is not possible. No. Okay. So segue. October, did we decide October 5th with Jamie? I think we're gonna skip a week because I have to do the high holidays. October 2nd, we're gonna do it. I gotta do the high holidays. Rosh Hashanah falls on the 25th. So
Fun.
I gotta go there.
Very cool.
Yep.
Well, I'll be here October 2nd and I'll like throw squirrel emojis into your live chat.
Yeah. Is there such a thing as squirrel? Nobody threw me a squirrel. We're just talking now. We should probably go.
We should probably
So,
go. Okay.
people are still listening to us. They're probably laughing. They've got their popcorn out. All right, cool. Oh, it's okay. Jamie said it's okay if Jamie, stop it. It's okay if she's your favorite. Laugh out loud.
That's right, Jamie. It is okay. It's okay,
And
Jamie.
Jamie, you're gonna be like, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna giggle through all of it. And we'll do the 10 questions. So be ready, Jamie.
Yes.
Jamie's cool because she also, so first of all, she has a different perspective because she's in Canada.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. She's in Canada and she has a son with autism.
Oh, good. So she'll be able to answer all those extra questions about.
Right. But we're also going to dig into, how, like, can you teach a child with a disability from a biblical perspective? Like she sent me pages of thoughts that she had.
Oh man, should I have sent you pages? Okay, Jamie, I might not do this. I sent her like 4 bullet notes. I'm like, here, this is what I came up with.
So Jamie has a lot of thoughts.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should all come back and hear her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. My mother-in-law's texting me at 11 o'clock at night. Okay. All right. Sorry. Side note, squirrel. All right. I will say goodbye to everybody. Are you on mute? No, you're not. Okay. Wow. Squirrel again. Okay. Thank you, Summer.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Leilani, for having me on. This is so much fun.
This is so much fun. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
And I'll talk to you guys later too. Thank you for joining us. I should acknowledge everybody in the audience.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. This was fun. I hope you guys have a wonderful night's sleep and that you are joyful. And this joy brings you into your day tomorrow in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Take care.